Welcome back, survivors. It's Show1 here. In today's video, we're going to be going over how to tame the Pteradon, right? Probably one of the most meta tames that there is right now in ARK, since you don't have any of the wyverns or any of those bigger creatures, and he will be, after the new maps drop, he'll continuously be a meta dinosaur for the future for early game. So he's really, really important to, know how to tame and how to level and, use him correctly, right? And so that's what this guy's going to teach you. So the first things first is how, what you actually need to tame a Pteradon. If you look into it, it's a very early tame, it's a very starter tame, so you don't really need too much stuff. All you're going to need is a primitive bow, 5 tranquilizing arrows as long as you're shooting them in the head, a bola to trap them, and maybe an extra one in case you miss, some regular kibble, it takes 7 regular kibble, and then also 17 narcotics to keep it sedated for the duration of the tame. Okay, now if you don't want to use regular kibble, that is fine. The foods that you can use in order from most effective to least effective, obviously number 1 is going to be regular kibble on 1x official settings. Okay, for a perfect 150, these are the numbers. With regular kibble, you're going to need 7 of it, and it's going to take you 29 minutes and 51 seconds. Next, you're probably going to reuse is going to be raw mutton, which is going to take you 35 minutes and 1 second. Next would probably be raw prime meat, which would take you 42 minutes and 31 seconds. So not least would be raw meat, which would take you about 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 31 seconds. I would highly recommend using raw prime meat and raw mutton to tame this guy. The reason why is because early on, regular kibble might be a little bit difficult to get. And raw mutton and raw prime meat isn't too difficult, and you get nearly all the benefits that you get while using regular kibble. Try to stay away from raw meat because it's going to take too long and you lose a lot of effectiveness, but if you got to use it, you got to use it. Okay, so now let's cover where you can actually find these guys. So I'm going to put a map on screen now as to where you can find them. You can pretty much find them like, anywhere next to the water that's not the snow. Literally, they're all around the map as long as you're not in the snow, and you're going to have a higher chance of finding them if you're next to the ocean. Now let's actually go over how you tame. It's very, very simple. So number 1 thing you got to do is locate your Pteradon and find one. So let's go do that now. All right, perfect. There's a level 150 Pteradon right here. Okay, so once you find your Pteradon, all you're gonna want to do is take your bolas out, and you're just gonna bola this guy. Grab your bow. Put my bow in my inventory real quick. Then grab your bow, and then you just want to shoot him right here in the top of the head, because if you're shooting him in the top of the head, he's a 3x multiplier, right? For headshots, you can shoot him right here in the eyeball, but sometimes that counts as the body. So I just think it's better to be safe and shoot him at the very, very top of the head. That way you don't get any, bad hit scan issues. And just like that, boom, 4 tranquilizing arrows with a bow, and he's down, right? Easy peasy, level 150 Pteradon. So congratulations, you've just knocked out your first Pteradon. You're probably very, very excited. So once you knock out your Pteradon, all you're going to want to do is, throw your select food of choice into him and then keep him sedated using narcotics for the duration of the tame, and then boom. And so let's jump ahead to that. So one cool feature that they added to ASA that wasn't in ASE is this right here. So once you actually put food inside of your Pteranodon, right, you're going to see this little Pteranodon symbol, or like a little footprint, okay? This purple meter indicates the torpidity, so how much it is knocked out. And the yellow meter indicates of how much it's tamed, okay? Once this purple meter goes all the way around and it can fully drain, he'll wake up. And once that yellow meter goes all the way around and comes complete, he'll be tamed, right? So make sure that purple meter does not fall. So make sure that purple meter does not go all the way around and fall to 0 and before the yellow meter gets to 100. Okay, and this is also really, really nice because it shows you where your team is now, instead of having to just kind of guess where it is. Because how many times in ASE would you be taming something and then it just disappears and all of a sudden you can't find it anymore? Now you can see it, you can track it, which is very nice. You can see exactly how many meters you are from it, how close it is to waking up, how close it is to being tamed. Really, really huge improvements, much better. And also your tribe mates can see it, so it's really, really nice. Boom! Congratulations, you have just tamed your first Pteranodon. He's, whoa! Yo! Bro, this dude's neck, oh my god! Holy, that was wild. Anyways, congratulations, you've just tamed your first Pteranodon. He might have a broken neck, but, he's up and he's breathing. So now that you've tamed your Pteranodon, you might be wondering, what are some good stats on that Pteranodon, and what do I want to level? So let's go over that real quick. So there's really only 2 stats that matter on a Pteranodon, and that's going to be health and stamina, right? This guy's a support dinosaur, and so you're going to want to be able to use him for as long as possible, aka stamina, and be able to tank as much as possible from people sniping you, aka health, right? So those are really the only 2 stats you want to level. I'd really, and maybe weight as well, so that enough weight so that way he can carry you. So get enough weight so that he can carry you, your player, and then I'd probably pump everything else into stamina, right? The reason why is that way you can use it as long as possible. You can pump a few points into health if you want it to be tanky, but that's kind of how I'd level it up. Pretty much all stamina and a bit of weight for my PTs, and maybe a little bit of health. So that's how I level it up. So now let's go over what are good stats. So for health, right, you're going to want okay health is you're going to be looking at 1600 off of perfect 150. Good health, you'll be looking at 1800, and then great health, you'll be looking at 2000. For stamina, okay, stamina, you'll be looking at 400. Good stamina, you'll be looking at 450, and great stamina, you're going to be looking at 500. Okay, anything less than 400 for stamina is like really, really bad. Same thing, anything less than 1600 for health is really, really bad. Also, the way stamina works is also the exact same way the melee damage works on these guys as well. So 400 melee is okay, 450 melee is good, and great melee would be 500. So doing a quick evaluation on this guy right here, we got actually 1852 health, so that's pretty solid. That's, you know, he's pretty good. And he's got 427 stamina, so, you know, nothing phenomenal, but it's definitely usable. And then he's got 400 melee damage, which is like, you know, not too great. It's, you know, it's okay. And so, you know, overall, you know, I'd be happy with this tame. So I'm gonna go pump a few levels into it, and then I'm gonna show you guys how you're actually gonna want to PvP with this guy so that we can farm kits. So now I'm gonna teach you guys how to PvP with the Pteranodon so that we can farm kits, because the whip is currently not in the game, and since the whip is currently not in the game, this guy is extremely strong, So what you're going to want to do is you're pretty much just going to want to go and pick up people, right, just like that with the right click, and you're just going to want to drop them, right? You're going to take them, you know, about 200-300 feet high, because that's where you get like the max fall damage, and then you're just going to kind of, anything above that is just extra, and then you're going to drop them, right? And as they're falling, they're probably gonna, if they're a good player, they're probably gonna pop their parachute, right? So you're gonna want to turn down and they're gonna try to pop their parachute like right around like this height, right? Like about 50 feet above the ground, okay? And you're gonna want to follow them the whole time that they're falling, okay? Like a heat-seeking missile, right? You're gonna be on their tail, right? And as they're coming down, they're gonna pop their parachute. You're gonna barrel roll them into the ground, so it hit the ground with more velocity and it does a lot of damage, okay? It might take 2, 3, 4 attempts to kill people, but it is really strong. The only thing that could really screw you over if you're attacking somebody on the ground would be for you to get bullet. So like, you know, if this Pteranodon is coming at me like this, you know, like something like that, right? You know, getting your Pteranodon bullet, and then you're in a really bad spot. So that's one thing I would really be aware of, is to make sure that you don't get bullet. How you do that is like literally just stay like a little bit high. Like if you're up this height, it's very hard for them to hit you on a bulla, and then just kind of swoop down and grab them. So maybe like go left and right and stuff, be like unpredictable when you're going to pick them up. So make sure you don't get bullet. There is no whip, so it's very hard for them to counterplay you when you're on a PT. And when they pop the parachute, then you're just gonna barrel roll them into the ground. It's really that simple, and you'll get so many kits and kills with this. It's not even funny, because you don't need a kit. All you need is the PT, because you're using the velocity. All right, so now let's talk about how you're gonna win air battles. So that's how you win ground battles versus people who are, you know, on foot or who are riding something. Obviously, you just go down, you pick them off, then you drop them, and then when they parachute, you spin them into the ground to hit them with max velocity. So there's a couple ways that, you know, I like to do it. Number one is you want to be as conservative as you can with these guys. You do not want to get greedy. The person who gets greedy is the one that always loses, right? Here's what I mean by that, right? So when you pick, the pick animation happens like 2-3 feet below like the, you know, but below the Pteranodon. So you're picking below the Pteranodon. So you have to be above somebody to actually pick them up. And a lot of times you're gonna find like games of chicken, right? We're coming head on at somebody, and you know you're both trying to pick each other. You're literally just want to go straight up and time it and try to pick them. That's kind of the best way to do it. And as you're coming at them, I would try to be a little bit higher than they are. If they're going up like this, you're gonna go up, you know, you kind of just match their height and be a little bit higher than they are, and then when you finally get there, you can go straight up. That way it protects you from getting picked and you have a higher chance of picking them. So that's kind of the best way to do it. Okay, now if somebody's chasing you, one thing that I really like to do, let's say I have another Pteranodon that's chasing me and I'm about to run out of stamina, so I have to make a play, right? They're following me. I'm gonna slow up until they get close, and then I'm just gonna turn around and grab them, because like the turning radius on this guy is very, very sharp, and people aren't suspecting that. Especially if you've been running for a minute, you could just turn around and pick them real quick, do the little 180 turn, and so it's very strong. I definitely learned to master that. And then obviously once you pick them up, just drop them and then barrel roll them to the ground. So that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys for watching. So now I'm just gonna leave you guys with a couple 3 fun facts about the Pteranodon. Number 1 is that these guys had a wingspan of 23 feet, which is absolutely huge. That would be terrifying if that was coming after you. Number 2 is they were all scattered throughout North America. That's like their primary region where they found a bunch of their remains, was all in North America. And then the last and final thing is the name Pteranodon actually means toothless wing, right? So that's completely it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, please leave a like and subscribe. You guys have been killing it with the support lately. I can't wait to keep posting with ARK ASA. I'm having a great time playing this game. I'm having a great time making content for you. Thank you for all the support. When you go and tame a Pteranodon, if you forget what stats are good, feel free to check out the video. And I'm going to be coming out with more videos on how to tame literally every single dinosaur in the entire game. And I'm also going to do another guide on how to farm and also on how to PvP. So if you're interested in that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and we get notified when I post. Other than that, peace out. May God bless you all.